Good morning, guys. This is Simon. Okay, I wanted to do an update on the algo that I sent out over the weekend. It's called Gex Dex with filter to stop contra trades above 200. Okay, so what this is designed for, okay, so there's a fatal flaw with the Gex Dex, which is if we get a impulse move like this at 1236, see that right there? And if we get an impulse move like that, and if you look on the Gex Dex data, you will see at that same time that, so this is that 1236 area right here, and you will see that it's longs over shorts on the Gex Dex, right? Which is a problem because that means all the way over until, let's see where we cross. And it's a long way. It stayed buyers over. Excuse me. I need to stand corrected here. It was already in buyers mode, so let's go the other way. So see, it flipped over here. I apologize. So let's go with it the other way. So see when it's. I need another example because I reversed that. So let's see. Hold on one sec. 12,954. So let's go over here. There we go. 954. Okay, good example right over here. So see this 954 through this 1030 area. Here, let me go back. Sorry. So 954 into this 10 o'clock. So we can see here by 10:05 it flips short, but up until 10 o'clock, so now switch over here, it's just a small little window that we have an issue with, right? So this is 10 o'clock right here, okay? And so what happens in this little window, right, before this thing flips, this doesn't flip short, it stays long in this window from 9:58 to 10 o'clock, right? But what you can see is we've made this impulse move. So this is on Friday. I'll go back and show you on Thursday. We've made this impulse move, and it stayed in buy mode. As a matter of fact, it stayed in buy mode all the way over until, right here, I'm just going to split the screen so we can see this. So we'll do this. And we'll do this. And I think this will show us both places where we have challenges. Okay, hopefully this way. Okay, so back over here, this is particularly the area I'm concerned about right here. So when we make this plunge, clearly underneath the 200 and off the white channels below, right? I do not want to continue to take longs, right? In this particular case, in this particular case, when we got to 958, it shut off taking longs, but it's not always the case, okay? Particularly when we've been so rampantly violent in the moves due to the news, okay? So what I want it to do is stop taking longs down here, and I don't want it to take the longs, particularly down in this area, even though in this particular case it worked out because this was a little balance area, right? I don't want it taking the longs down here, right? It's too late, and what we end up with is something like on Thursday. Let me go to Thursday. And there's Thursday. Okay, so in here, I would be long. I need to find a place where I'm trying to fix it here so that I don't get caught out. Okay, this is a good example right here. So what you'll see is that delta and gamma are long, right? And this is where we're at on the chart, which is 1346. Okay, and so that is right here. Okay, and see how it stays long. Now you could argue, right? You could argue, but Simon, it gets the long right out of here. But that's great. I no longer want the long. What I really wanted was this white bar short in this case, right? Because we're in a momentum market. And it's nice that it worked out, but what you end up with is you end up getting pinged with one stop and then the trap back in to that stop. So that's two stops back to back. And if it gets bad, like if it gets bad, it can be multiple stops in a row when news comes out. So I want to stop this specific area from having this occur, where it's taking longs well underneath the 200, right? And so this is what this fixes, is this particular issue, right? If you will look, it's doing perfectly beforehand, right? See how it's already long over here? So again, here's another area where even though it worked out, I don't want it to take it, right? So see how we're long, right? But we've gotten underneath the 200. And the reason for that is, if you look, if we catch a bad combo, okay, so here's an example, okay, right in here, where you can see at 1311, we haven't quite crossed. See that? This is 1311 right over here. We haven't quite crossed. Here's 1311 right over here. And even though I technically skate out of these trades and escape with my life, I don't want them. As a matter of fact, what I want it doing is looking for the shorts at this particular juncture. Okay, I want it looking for the shorts at this particular juncture. As a matter of fact, I want it to stop taking longs right here, because there's a potential, had any of these bars been green, to capture stops on the way down. And so this is what we're trying to eliminate, and this is what this does eliminate. Okay, I think I have it too late in the progress still. It's when the blue bar touches this white channel down here, and I think I'm going to switch it to when the blue bar closes underneath the 200. It'll move it back a few more bars, so there'll be a second rendition. But basically what it does is it stops us from getting smoked if news comes out, from taking multiple longs. And then the inverse is true for the shorts, right? If we're in a situation where we're short, this is a good example here. So see how the market stayed short through this whole move, because of the way that it's weighted. So we don't flip till long on this thing till all the way over. Like, this is the first place it shuts off, I think. That's the first place it would stop taking it. That's 1230, right? So I want to show you this. So from all the way over here, okay, so that's 12 o'clock, right? So if you'll look at that, so starting at 12 o'clock, right? It's short, that's fine. There's no problem there. We're taking the trades, we're very, very happy, right? But then, right, news comes out, and all the way till over here, 1230, this thing is still hunting shorts all through here, and it becomes stop-a-palooza. Okay, so right now, right, starting right here, so it still doesn't eliminate the shorts underneath, right? There's nothing, we can't completely eliminate the risk of news coming out and the market going vertical, but it does stop. And I'll probably, what I will probably do is either move it that if the orange line closes above or the blue line closes at the 200, but I probably was too conservative the first time, and I'll advance that, because what I want to do is eliminate all these stops right in here that you'll see were all shorts that were fired. Now, the last piece is when you're looking at this, a couple other things. I am trading two contracts with a 15 and 25 point scale on a 24 tick this week, or at least today, because it's been working. It gets you paid, and it minimizes your risk of blowing up an Apex account, which is what the goal is, while still getting you paid. It can hit $1,000 to $5,000 a day still in the current environment. And then also this Don't throw away your old chart book because this is only in need of the moment, so to speak, because we're getting such radical shifts in the way the market's flying based on the news. So this is a defense against the news, effectively. And anyways, that's my 2 cents. I went on longer than I wanted to. I'll answer more questions in the room. Please check your settings. It's set to 2 NQ minis. Okay, it's set to 2 NQ minis. The stop is opposite +2, and it has, I have mine set for 15 and 25 on the scales. If you obviously can manipulate them if you want further scales, I have no problem with it. My goal was just to hit the targets. 2 or 3 trades on those two scales get you up $1,000 to $2,000 for the day, and you get paid. If you have other goals, you may want to optimize for those goals. Anyways, that's my 2 cents, guys. Let's have a great day. I'll see you.